Raids are designed for 6 players, but it's possible to get up to 51 raid chests every week completely solo. So in this video, I'll go over every solo raid chest so you can get raid weapons, craftable raid weapons, and 165 spoils of conquest every week without needing a team. I'm Marshix and I make Destiny 2 guides for solo players. If you enjoy, all I ever ask for is a like on the video. And channel members are pretty cool too. A few things to go over before we start. First of all of these chests will only give you gear that you've already discovered in collections. These are meant to give you only extra rolls of weapons you already have, a chance at red border versions of raid weapons that you already have, and spoils of conquest. They aren't meant to give you any new raid weapons. So that being said, you will need to do the raid at least one time to get anything at all. The other thing is that a few chests will require certain checkpoints, but thanks to Luckstruck9 and a few other people, which I'll put on screen if I can find them, we can easily get these checkpoints using bots. To use these, go to twitch.tv/d2checkpoints or any of their other Twitch bots, which I'll link in the description. These are all 100% free, and all you have to do is type in their Twitch chat which checkpoint you want. It will add you to a queue. You wait a few minutes depending on the amount of people waiting. Then it will send you an invite, load you into that encounter, and then leave. I'll go more in depth for the checkpoints that we actually need as we get there, but the important thing is that you can get way more chests by using these checkpoints. I randomly got recommended this channel on Twitch, and I'm so glad I did because it's really helpful. Okay, now onto the chest. Episode Heresy brought back some of the most iconic raid weapons as really strong craftable versions. Fatebringer, Vision of Confluence, Hazen's Vengeance, and all the other Vault of Glass weapons. And you can get up to 4 chests in this raid solo every week and on every character. What you need to do is go to any of the Twitch channels in the description, and in one of their chats, you need to type in this: !QVOG post-templar in for normal mode, and then your BungieName, including your hashtag. This will put you into a queue to grab a checkpoint inside Vault of Glass, allowing you to grab all 4 secret chests without doing any encounter. You will need your fireteam invites open, and after waiting in the queue, you'll get an invite from the bot. Join it, and it will automatically leave while you're loading in. If you take too long to accept the invite, you'll have to re-enter the queue. I learned the hard way. Once you land, you need to turn around and climb up the path using the path I take. It helps to have things like a Lethonym, grapple grenade, and an eager-edged sword for better movement around the area. But none of that is absolutely mandatory, it just helps with certain jumps. Once you're here, grab the chest and turn around. We're going back down the way we normally would to get to the second chest. From here, keep moving forward like normal until you get back to the room that we originally loaded into. Now jump down into the Gorgon maze. Once you're here, you'll need to avoid the harpies and shoot 3 boxes. If you get caught by a harpy, you will wipe after a few seconds, but you'll stay in the same area, so you can wipe as many times as you need. Also, you don't have to take the same path I did because I'm a psychopath. As long as you find the 3 boxes, it will spawn the chest. Once you shoot the 3rd box, go ahead and get caught by a harpy to reset the room. Once you respawn, head over to the right, let this harpy pass, and then hug the right wall until you reach the 3rd chest. But wait, there's more. Get caught one more time to reset the room, then take the Chad route to get to the next encounter. The secret to this is just not making any noise at all. No jumping, no shooting, and no sprinting. If you start sprinting from far away, they won't hear you, but if you stop and start again, they will hear it and turn and look at you with their big blue eyes of death. Once you reach this area, jump across to the other side, and the chest is sitting up on a ledge. Once again, these can now drop red border raid weapons, which means we can finally craft Fatebringer after 11 years of waiting. And each chest will give 5 spoils for a total of 20 per character. Garden of Salvation. This raid was also recently updated to have crafted raid weapons, so these chests are also worth grabbing, and thanks to some shenanigans, we can get both of its chests completely solo and no checkpoint needed. Just load it up from the moon, kill the enemies in front of the portal, and head over to the first encounter. You will need a few things before we start. A rocket launcher like Gallowhorn and a grapple grenade. Now just rally the flag and follow the path I take. Once you get here, you need to fall into this little corner with a shadow. You need to shoot this right before you land, and if you do it correctly, you will respawn inside the next area. If you shoot too soon or too late, just jump around the corner and try it again. Or cover the ground with stasis crystals and jump off the map. Both ways will work. Once you're in the map, just follow the path like normal to get to the first chest. Keep moving forward towards second encounter. Take the path down the middle and go all the way to the end. And while we're here, why don't you hit that like button? Once you get to this wall, you need to climb to the top. There are multiple ways to do this, but the easiest way is to take your rocket launcher, point directly up, and then shoot and immediately grapple to it. This will send you flying directly up right where we need to go. Now from here, we need to go this way, but the floor is covered by a turnback zone, so you'll need to stay in the air as much as possible. It helps to have high mobility, but you can also make it without it, it's just a little bit harder. Drop down and follow the path like normal. Enter the tree and the chest will be on the upper level. Once again, these chests have been updated so they can actually drop raid weapons, and those weapons do have a chance to be deep sight red borders, so if you're lucky and persistent, you can eventually craft these weapons. And every weapon from this raid that isn't named Omniscient Eye is pretty good. Up next is Deepstone Crypt. This has 2 chests that can be obtained solo and without a checkpoint. Load it up from Europa, kill the enemies in front of the door, and then move forward until you reach the blizzard. From here, you can go from bubble to bubble the long way, or if you have a skimmer, which I'm gonna assume you do, you can take 2 shortcuts to make it way easier. Line up your skimmer with this part of the floor, then full send it off the edge. After a few seconds, activate your hover mode and aim for the glowing bubble. Wait there for a few seconds to clear your frost, and then move on to the next bubble. Now, instead of going left the normal way, we're going to skim over the abyss. So just line up your skimmer like I did and hover across until you see a big obvious bubble. Now just go through the caves to reach the end of the blizzard. Once you get to the final bubble, look at the door, turn around, and then hug the left wall. Take the path up, and the chest is sitting up there in the most poorly lit area. For the second chest, we have to do some really annoying out of bounds glitches. There is a checkpoint bot that can take you there if you wait in a queue, but if you don't want to wait, you can follow along with the video. You will need to swap to a sparrow for this part, so go ahead and do that now. Here, you need to bring your sparrow up to this wall, and while you're holding left, you need to jump off, and while you're in the animation for jumping off, you'll need to strafe to the left. It will probably take a few tries, but you'll eventually push yourself through the wall, taking you out of bounds. Now that you're out of bounds, jump up to this other room, and for some reason, you can summon your sparrow here. Now, ride your sparrow to take the exact path that I go. If you lose it, you'll have to come back to this spot and summon a new sparrow. Once you climb the wall to the top, you'll need to angle yourself off this little ramp and full send it across the gap and land on the next building. This always takes me multiple tries, so you just kinda have to get lucky. Once you do that, keep going forward and try to fall gently off the cliff. Take your hopefully not destroyed sparrow all the way down and use it to climb up the very steep slope. Once you're all the way in the top left corner, you need to once again hold left, jump off, and strafe into the wall. This will push you through the wall again, putting you back in the map near the second chest. I know that whole process is a lot, so if it takes you a long time to get it down, you're better off just using the checkpoint bot. Up next is King's Fall. Prior to the checkpoint bots, none of these chests were soloable, which means a lot of people never got a god roll of the best hand cannon in the game. But today, that changes. Enter this code into any of the Twitch bots, and it will spit you out right here. Immediately turn around and take the path backwards. From here, you can pull out your ghost to briefly see the invisible rocks, and try to jump to one of those. Go into the wall, and the chest will be sitting there, menacingly. I didn't get any spoils on my Titan because my Postmaster was full, but I went back, and yes, it does drop 5 per character per week. Salvation's Edge. Salvation's Edge has 2 solo chests, but once again, we'll need checkpoints. The first checkpoint is by using this code. Pretty simple. And once you load in, you'll have to do a little bit of jumping and shooting, but nothing terrible. Also, you can skip most of the path by rocket jumping, but I'll show the full path for those of you who don't have access to that for whatever reason. And I did load in with another person, but it still counts as solo. Go ahead and complain in the comments. Wah, he said it was solo, but there's another person on the screen. The second chest uses this code. Yes, you have to leave and wait again in queue, but Nullify and the legendary Trinity Ghoul are both worth it. Go up the lift, and you'll have to climb up this giant space tree. I don't care how you reach the top, just reach the top. Once you get close to the final staircase, turn to the right, and there's a hidden room holding the 11th chest of the video. And once again, I forgot to clean out my postmaster, but I can assure you, you do get spoils each time you pick up these chests, bringing our total to 35 spoils of conquest. Root of Nightmares. This is the final raid that requires checkpoints. The first one takes this code, and it will drop you right after the first encounter. Now it's just a long walk up there. Once you get here, you will have to kill a tormentor, so don't be like me and actually bring something to kill him with. But once he's dead, you can open his chest. The second Root of Nightmares chest will also need a checkpoint using this code. This will put you right before the heartbeat area. To get to the chest, you will need to go through here, but it's not too bad if you follow the path I take. And I will be using a shortcut, so you'll want either a sword or a grapple grenade. Also, the way this area works, if you've never done this part before, is that you need to stand near one of the light nodes and shoot it to get a buff. Then with that buff, you can shoot a dark node to create a safe zone from the heartbeat. So just take your time and you'll eventually get through it with no problems. Once you get here, you'll need to jump around the wall and you'll see a crystal. Shoot it and climb the wall using a sword. The chest is in the building directly in front of you. Valve the Disciple has one chest that's really easy to get solo. Load it up from the throne world and kill Savathun to open the door. Move forward until you reach the pyramid boat, and then kill all 3 yellow bar abominations that spawn. Once they're all dead, run away and ignore everything else. From here you just need to find 3 of these crystals and shoot them to open the door. This is obviously the first one, then jump up and the second one will be at the end of the road on the left. Go back and hang left, and the third crystal will be inside the bridge that you can see right in front of you. Now that you have all 3 crystals, a door will open in the building to the right, and inside is a chest with spoils and some power crept weapons. Last Wish has 2 chests that take a little bit of time to get, but they're super easy and don't require a checkpoint. Load it up from the Dreaming City, then follow the path I take up to the Wish Wall. Once you're here, shoot the symbols to input this code. It will teleport you to the Morgath encounter, where you can cross the broken bridge to reach a secret chest. There are countless ways to cross the bridge, but the easiest by far is by using Dawnblade on Warlock, and just spamming Icarus dashes across. Or on Titan, you can pop your Strand Super and swing your way across. Lion Rampant makes this a lot easier too. And for Hunter, you can simply swing an Eager Edge sword, grapple, swing your sword again, grapple again, swing your sword again, and then if you still need some distance, you can pop your super to get another grapple. Now that you're across, just follow the path outside to get the chest. To get the other chest, go to orbit, reset your checkpoint, then go back in and input this code. This will take you to Shuro-Chi, where you can once again turn around and grab a free chest. These chests will not give you spoils of conquest, but the weapons from these are actually really good, especially Apex Predator. Crota's Inn is a little different from the others. Technically this isn't soloable, but if you have one friend who's AFK or a second account that's free to play, you can both load in, pass the chalice one time, defend a plate for a few seconds, and then jump down into the pit. Or if you don't have a friend or a second account, no worries. You can still do it with the checkpoint bots from before. Just input this code and you'll end up in the same spot. Once you reach the dark below, hug the left wall until you eventually reach a lit up door that opens. And inside is a chest that gives you decent weapons and spoils of conquest. So in total, we got 17 raid chests, completely solo, with an asterisk, all of which giving chances at red border raid weapons and up to 55 spoils of conquest. You can then do those on your other two characters for a total of 51 chests and 165 spoils every week. So if you're going for any of those raid exotics in the kiosk, it only takes 2 weeks. Now that you have these awesome weapons, you'll need to upgrade them. So check out this video for the best ways to farm everything you need. Thanks for watching, I'm Marshix, and I'll see you next time.